So really designed to grow hair. Simple as that. And when it came out, and I remember I was talking about, I had talks in Korea about it and stuff, and everybody was saying, I was telling them this will help with hair, and this is how it works, and so forth. Some of the people who were sitting in that lecture is actually Dr. Park. He's there, and his group also from Japan, and all of them actually, a majority of them were sitting in my lecture and we were talking, and I know them personally. So what they say, now you're going to be surprised with the title. Hair growth stimulated by conditioned media of adipose-derived stem cell is enhanced by hypoxia, and then evidence increased growth factor secretion. Everybody can say this is very bad English, and it's not very, a title is not telling us much. And I asked him this in the last meeting, and we had an A4M in Thailand. And what happened is, when you come up with the paper, you have to be unique. You can't say something that I said or I'm doing. So this came at 2010. So they wanted to be different, and they were doing the experiment at that time. And then when I came up with the product, they were faced that we cannot say this, we have to change it. So what they did, what they're saying, hair growth can be stimulated using, growth factor. And hypoxia is another way of saying wound. One thing that is indication of wounds are lack of oxygen. And hypoxia means lack of oxygen. So they're saying basically if you imply wound and you put growth factors, you will have hair growth. This is what they're trying to say. But they can't use a fibrous growth. This is what I'm using. So they say adipose-derived stem cell. So it's the stem cells that came from adipose. When you put them in conditioned media, they became fibroblasts. So this is what they were saying. And a lot of people in the meeting, he came, I was chairing this session, and he came to give a talk about this work, his work. And a lot of people said, does stem cell produce growth factors? And if they do, how? And how do you grow them? And and he got into a very bad pickle. But another paper came out actually in just September, and I gave a talk in September 2nd in Thailand in the A4M. And this came up September 3rd, and this came out on September 1st. So I saw it on September 2nd. Just before I go to my lecture, I like to do research, see what's up. And this paper came out. And then really, they're talking about how skin stem cell, which is really more precursor for fibroblast, can help the recycling of the growth of hair. This is our friend here, PDGF, which is, what is really produced. And what happened is they say if PDGF will increase the blood supply to the hair follicle, they will allow it to regenerate, so it's a very good paper. If you want to look at it, it's really nice. So the question comes here, which is, the slide, the hair cycle. This is what the normal hair cycle will be. It will be go through anagen, catagen, telogen, and return back. For the hair to go through a cycle, if we don't have the cycle, if we only have one stage, anagen, the hair will just, by the end of the stalk, your hair will be taller than the way you came. And this is not how it works. The hair has to go through a cycle process. And for it to be normal and healthier, it has to go through all this cycle. And now, minoxidil and propagia, which is finasteride, actually what they do, they focus on this anagen. They trap the cell in this cycle, and they induce this growth, so you'll have growth. The problem is a lot of people who use minoxidil, they'll tell you, the quality of the hair is not really as good. It's thick, it's easier, it's thinner, it's brittle, and also once I stop, my hair falls really quickly. And the reason why, because the hair is programmed to go through these stages. And when you put minoxidil or propagia and you stop using it, the natural hair cycle, because it's got trapped here, the next step it will jump straight to this next stage, catagen, and then you lose your hair. That's why you lose it really quickly, is because the hair is stuck in one stage, and the minute the stimulus goes away, they will just jump to the next cycle very quickly. And a lot of the time, they don't go back. That's why they tell you if you are on minoxidil, you want to stay on it. Growth factors don't work that way. As I say, remember, they help the cell cycle. They support the normal rotation of the hair. Sometimes we'll tell you, I use the hair and my hair start losing hair. And the question is, the hair was trapped in one stage, and then the growth factor start putting back in the cycle, normal cycle, so the hair can grow normally, and you have really high quality of hair. So I took a mouse. None of the mice got hair, by the way, and I shaved them. Took the hair from here, this side here, and this side. And what I did is one of the side I put water, and the other side I put growth factor in there, product, together. And then I took the hair out and then measured the length every time, and I want to see how long, you know. And really, just the mouse don't have hair. Mouse have fur, and and the fur function in the mouse is to sustain a temperature. So they have physiological function as opposed to us, which, you know, we evolve. I think we don't need it anymore. It's just for cosmetic, but for the mouse it's different. But here, what I'm testing is, will that promote faster growth? That's what I'm trying to say. Will they put growth factors somehow? You'll be able to, you know, straighten up the growth, and actually did. The one that have growth factor, the side that have growth factor, the mouse actually grow faster than by 33 almost percent in terms of hair growth. Again, with the before and after pictures, it's very tricky because you need to show before and you need to show after. I want to see how did he come before from week 0 to here. I need to see every step, how did his hair grow. So we use this machine called Vizia, and Vizia, there's a program that will allow you to count the hair and the area of coverage. And when you look at before and after for hair, don't look at just the hair, look at the coverage, because the hair actually is monitored by coveraging, is not so much by, you know. So when you do even transplant, people tell you how much coverage you'll have, you know. So I have more coverage or so forth. So look at the coverage, and we wanted to scan this. So this guy head is a little big, so we have hard time fitting him in the machine. I don't know if you've seen the Vizia. So we put him first, this is the best fitting we can, and then we took a picture of him first week. And then we realized there's a lot of growth, and we have to capture the side of it. So we said, okay, let's turn them. And we turn him and to measure. You can see, actually, there is really good. And it takes 15 weeks for him to come every week to take picture. Is a huge amount of commitment. And sadly, we couldn't repeat it because a lot of the people who started, they couldn't finish, or they missed this and that. And it was really, a lot of people just don't want to commit, but he did, and we're grateful for it. And he was one of the first people, including myself and another guy. And he's 48 years old. He didn't have hair, so he was really, you can say, a sense of really bold, and you can see improved. And his hair continues. So if you see him right now, he have extremely great coverage. Of course, after this, he have a girlfriend right now, so I don't see him much. So this guy, as you can see here, look at the coverage. If you know, I always do this. If you put, if you go here, so this side, and then you compare it and you go here, you can see how much coverage in between. You see the huge coverage within 8 weeks, and he continued to. He's 50. He's 54. He's actually the ping pong champion in the U.S. above the age of 50, and he hasn't had hair for a long time. So when he started it, you can see the coverage, and it continued to. The problem is he went to a tour and we couldn't track it. This guy, he started losing hair. He's one of the people who work with us, and he started losing hair really drastic. So you can see, if you look on top, you can see there's white come here. So you put them in, and you can see not just the coverage, but look at the pattern of the hair, the way it comes. So there's not induced growth, but it's actually normal back coverage of the hair. So the pattern of the hair, I'm sure a hairdresser will tell you, when they cut the hair, that certain hairs have a pattern. And you can see here the growth came within the pattern. So it's not induced or just naturally grown. This is done by our clinic in Shinshin. Shinshin is one of the biggest clinics in Japan for hair restoration, and very advanced, and we did a study with them. This woman is, I think, 56, in her 50s, and she started premenopausal or certain side of hair loss, and she went in the treatment after 5 months. Actually, she have full, I will say 100% restoration of the hair, and for women it's very hard. They did also another case, and also he's 58 years old, and you can see he started losing it here, and then again back to really restoration. This guy is very interesting. He's from Canada, and he bought our product from online. And then he sent me an email, say, hey, doctor, thank you. The product is great. I like it, blah, blah, blah. And I have a question. And my hair changed color. And he sent me this picture before, and he sent me this picture after. And he said, my hair, I have nice growth and everything, but my hair color changed. Is that okay? Is that normal? You know, what do you think, kind of thing? And I was like, actually, I don't know. And I started thinking, like, what will be, how will the hair change color? You know, I haven't seen it before, and I couldn't find answers. So I said, let me think about it, you know, and let you know. 2 days later, he emailed me again and said, hey, doc, I figured it out. I went to see my mom last night for dinner, and my mom told me your hair color looked like the same color when you were born. So there is not just, and now it makes sense, because not only once you restart the normal cycle of hair, the normal, you know, put the hair follicle into the normal stage, not just you restore growth, but you also restore the normal physiological color, you start everything. So he really, and it's common when you lose hair, the color fades, become really weaker, just because the color, the follicle is not getting supplied. So, you know, he got hair growth, but also restoration of the normal. So this also enforces that the growth is actually not just induced, but it's actually normal. Okay, thank you very much.